Okay, today we're going to learn about parametric equations. This is the last section. It's called 8.6. Parametric equations uses the independent variable t and dependent variables x and y. Just to explain where you would find parametric equations. Anything that's related to time in physics or in math. For example, a race car, roller coasters, coiled springs, anything that's related to time. So, back in algebra, we did an XY chart. Now we're going to do a TXY chart. Parametric equations is made up of two equations, not just one. So when you take your test in a couple of days, make sure you write down two equations. One, x in terms of t. The other one is y in terms of t. So, if time is 1 minute or time is 2 minutes, x and y are both the dependent variables. They're dependent on what t is. So what you do is you go into the first equation to find what the x is, and x is 3. I just substituted 1 in place of t. And then to find the y value, you need to put 1 into the second equation, and you're going to get 0. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for time for 2 minutes. What's time in 2 minutes for the x value? It's going to be 6. And for the y value, it's going to be 2 minus 4, which ends up being a negative 2. Parametric equations. Again, there's always two equations in terms of x in terms of t, y in terms of t. We're going to do two things today. The first thing we're going to do is change an algebraic equation into a parametric equation, and then vice versa. This part one is really easy. Given an algebraic equation, they want you to find a parametric equation. A parametric equation has two equations. So, all you're going to do, this is really easy, is you're just going to say x equals t in the first equation. You need to write 1 in terms of x regarding t, and now all you're going to do is substitute. Now that we know that x equals t, in place of x right here, we're going to copy down y equals, and in place of x right there, we're going to substitute x equals t. So y equals 1/2 t plus 7. You are done. I just went from an algebraic equation. If I graph this, I'm hoping you know that it makes a line. Y-intercepts at 7, slope is 1/2. This is an algebraic equation. And what I did was I changed it into a parametric equation. A parametric equation needs two equations in terms of t. Okay, let's do one more. I'm going to get y alone first. Doesn't y really equal 4 minus 3x? I'm going to box this in. This is the algebraic equation. Over here, I'm going to transform this into a parametric equation. So, again, it's really easy for the first part of the assignment. All you're going to say is x equals t. And then once you put down x equals t, I'm going to substitute in place of x, t. And that is all. And that's all you're doing in part one. Okay, the other way is we're going to give you a parametric equation, and you have to put it back into an algebra form. Okay, part two, given a parametric equation, find an algebraic equation. As you can see, there are two equations. Here's the first one, here's the second one. What I'm going to do is put it back into an algebra form. Y equals something. Okay, all you have to do is get t alone in both equations. So, in the first equation, doesn't x plus 2 equals t? All I did was add 2 to both sides. In the second one, it's going to take me longer. I'm going to put it right here. Y equals 4 minus 3t. Y minus 4 equals equals a negative 3t. I'm going to divide everything by negative 3. So y minus 4 over a negative 3 equals t. Okay, so all I did was to get t alone in both equations. And since they both equal t, all I'm going to do is set them equal to each other. I'm going to set x plus 2 equal to y minus 4 over a negative 3. I'm going to set those two equal to each other because they both equal t. So over here, I'm going to do x plus 2 equals y minus 4 over a negative 3. Okay, you can do two things. You can put the x plus 2 over 1, and you can cross multiply because you have a fraction equals a fraction. Or you can take away that line with the 1, and if you want to get rid of the negative 3 in the denominator, all you have to do is multiply both sides by negative 3. It doesn't matter which way you want to do it. All you have to do is simplify this in terms of y equals. So I'm going to put it over x plus 2 over 1, and I'm going to cross multiply. So when I cross multiply, I'm going to get a negative 3x minus 6 equals y minus 4. Again, I cross multiply. I took a negative 3 and multiplied it by x plus 2 and got negative 3x minus 6. I took 1 and multiplied it by y minus 4. One last step is to add 4 to both sides. Final, y equals negative 3x minus 2. I went from parametric, which is up there, into an algebraic equation. You need to know how to go back and forth because you need to show if there is time, you'll be able to switch it into time, which is variable t. Again, let's just review this again. A parametric equation has two equations in terms of x, in terms of t, in terms of y equals t. If I want to go from algebraic to parametric, I'm just going to set x equals t, and then in place of all the x's, put a t. Those are my two equations. And when you go the other way, you need to get t alone in both equations. This is what I did right here. I got t alone in both equations. Once you get t alone, you set them equal to each other and solve for y. That is all for the assignment. Your assignment is on page 524. Give me 2 minutes to look this up. We're going to do 19 through 29 odds. You're probably going to finish early. Make sure you hand your assignment in. Have a good day.